Hi, welcome back to another year of Keeping It Real with Coach Neal. I'm Brandon Sands of the Seahawk Digital Network here with head coach Chris Neal. And Coach, it's hard to believe we're almost at the end of August. You've already got about 4 games under your belt. What have you learned about your team so far?
Time does fly, and I can't believe it's almost September already, but we've got 4 games under our belt and an exhibition, so 5 total. We have learned a lot. We've had some really good performances, some not so good performances, and some in between. But we're off to a good start. You know, we're 2 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. Really happy with the group. They continue to add some things to their arsenal every single practice and game. So I think we're still trending in the right direction.
You know, you talk about that start. It's really impressive just considering the amount of new pieces that you're trying to put into the operation, on forward midfield defense and even in goalkeeper. Just what have you learned kind of from that new group mixing in with some of your veterans now?
Yeah, we learn something about them every time they step out. Like I said before, we did lose the heart of our defense, with our 2 center backs and our goalkeeper and our holding mid. So trying to answer those questions early on has been a focus. And we've tried to, I think our first match, we played 5 different center backs, for example. So what I've learned is these kids are committed to listening to us and trying to implement what we're asking of them. And that's as coaches, that's what you look for. And there's been mistakes made along the way. And we try to tell them to just not make the same mistakes over and over again and to learn from them. So they seem to be quick learners, I would say.
You almost couldn't have thought of a better start to the year. 3 unbeaten games. Last Sunday, you go into a defending conference champion at Old Dominion in a road test. What did you learn about your team in that instance?
Yeah, that was a very good opponent, and I think they are 3-time back-to-back Sun Belt champions in some capacity. So that was an awesome road test for us. They are a good team, and they put us under some pressure that we had not seen before, different type of pressure. But that was one of those days that I talked about earlier that we weren't good, in most phases of the game. I'm going to blame it on the first week of classes, but we had some brain fog going into it. We just didn't execute in every phase the way we had seen before. A lot of that has to do with the pressure that Old Dominion put us under. In saying that, we didn't really give Old Dominion a whole lot in that first half either. It took a world-class free kick for them to score in that first half. So even though the result wasn't in our favor, there were some positives to pull from that. But that was a great road test, which feels like playing a top-level CAA team on the road early. So I think that's going to serve us later.
We talk about all these newcomers. You obviously have your slew of freshmen, but there are also, a number of transfers on this roster that have already contributed. Morgan Hobbs in goal, Lexi Vagoda, one of the, best set pieces that, we've seen in some time here, obviously. How has your philosophy in terms of how you build this roster changed with the, how prominent the transfer portal is now?
You have to have balance. So you have to have a little bit of everything. You have to have experience. You have to have some transfers that are filling team needs in a primary window right before your next season starts. And you got to have some young blood with those fresh legs and that eagerness to learn. And I think the balance of all 3 of those is important. And that's what I think we have here and what I've seen so far. But yeah, our transfers, Morgan, Lexi, and Ayana have come in and made immediate impacts. And, we're going to continue to hunt that portal for immediate team needs moving forward.
You look forward to this week. You got another road test at a Power 4 opponent at Duke. Then you come home here on Sunday to face the East Carolina. Another great crowd expected again, rivalry match. We'll start with the Blue Devils. Just kind of what are you looking to take away, and what have you seen from the Blue Devils so far this year?
Well, they're an elite team. They lost on the road to Ohio State in a game that could have easily flipped the other way. Then they went on the road and beat Nebraska. I'm not sure if that Ohio State was at home or away, but they went on the road and beat Nebraska 3-0. So this is only going to be their 3rd match. It'll be our 5th match. And Robbie Church, their head coach, is a mentor and a dear friend of mine. He has made an announcement that this will be his last year of coaching. He will retire at the end of the year. So for me personally, it is special to get to compete against Robbie one last time. He's been very, very good to me in my career at some critical moments, and I have a lot of my success and just years of coaching to have him to thank for much of that. He was very influential, and my family is very grateful to Robbie. So that'll be a special moment for me. But that's a good team. Let's make no mistake about it. They're an elite team, and we're going to have to go in there and really have every angle covered against a very athletic, very elitely skilled opponent.
And then you look at East Carolina on Sunday, and the crowds have been awesome here. The first two regular season games, you've already had over 1,000 in attendance for one of them. One of the best in the nations when we last left this place a couple weeks ago. Just how excited are you to be back in front of your home fans?
That matters. You don't maybe realize it in the moment as the coach, but the players feel it instantaneously. So big shout out to Seahawks Sports Marketing and Team Teal and the city of Wilmington and all the local soccer clubs. But our attendance has been unbelievable in our first two matches, and I'm hoping that it turns out again for the ECU match, because that's clearly a regional rivalry and another great team.
Well, Coach, we'll be looking forward to both games later this week. Join us again next week for another edition of Keeping It Real with Coach Neal. Thank you.